So you're sitting in California, you've run the numbers on moving to Dallas, and honestly, the math is starting to look pretty tempting. Before you sell the house and load up that moving truck, let's get painfully honest about what actually changes when a family moves from California to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Because some of it is even better than you're hoping, and some of it nobody warns you about. By the end of this video, you're going to understand the 4 things that really change for your family: the money, the house, the schools, and the day-to-day lifestyle. So you can decide if DFW is the right move for you and roughly where in it that you might fit. Because the real question isn't just whether DFW is cheaper, it's whether the trade-offs are going to fit your family. And stick with me to the schools part especially. There's an assumption almost every California family is going to make. That can cost you the house that you actually wanted. There's no fluff, no pressure, just some real numbers because you know how I like my numbers. Now, a quick hello. My name is Kristen Carpentier. I'm a licensed realtor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metro. I am a mom of 4, and this is where we ended up raising our family for the last 14 years. My husband and I came from the Phoenix area, Gilbert, Arizona to be more specific, so I know exactly what it feels like to move your kids halfway across the map. And just hope that you got it right. I help families relocate from out of state just about every single week, a lot of them coming from all over the state of California. So let's start with the one that's probably the reason you clicked on this video, the money. Now, the headline you already know, Texas has no state income tax. You got that right? None. It's actually written into the state constitution. And that's your personal income, your paycheck, a lot of retirement income situations. Now, if you own a business, the picture gets a little bit more nuanced. Texas does have a franchise tax, so please run that one by your CPA before you assume anything. California's top rate, on the other hand, is one of the highest in the entire country. Now, I am not a CPA, so again, please talk to yours. I do have a couple recommendations, though, if you actually might need it. But for a lot of the families I work with, that one difference can mean thousands of dollars a year staying in your pocket. And if you're a higher earner, it can be a whole lot more than just that. But, and this is the part a lot of California families miss, Texas makes up for it somewhere else. Our property taxes here run higher, often a little bit noticeably higher than what you're used to under Prop 13. And there's no cap that locks your rate in the way California has. So your home gets reassessed and your tax bill moves with it. Now, exactly how much higher is going to depend on your county and your specific address. So check the real number, don't just try to guess about it. And while we're on the topic of bills, one more line that California families forget is the homeowner's insurance. It tends to run higher here. We get hail and wind, and those storms can be crazy. So insurers price that right into the premium. And in a lot of the budgets I run with families, it's a bigger line than California folks might expect. So fold that into your monthly number as well. Granted, you're usually starting from a much lower home price here, which changes the whole equation, and that's the next piece. So here's the honest takeaway. A lot of families can still come out ahead overall, especially those of you that are higher earners. But it really depends on your income, your purchase price, your property taxes, your insurance, and then adding in your exemptions. So please don't budget like it's all income tax saving. And then forget the property tax and the insurance line. I have watched that surprised a few people here. And when I say your real monthly number, I mean the whole stack. Your mortgage, your property taxes, your insurance, any HOA that you might move into, a MUD or a PID if the community has one, plus summer electric bills and the toll roads if you are commuting. Now that's just the number that actually hits your account, not the sticker price online. Run that before you fall in love with a house. That one habit will save you a lot of stress down the line. Now let's talk about what your money actually buys here, because this is where California families tend to get a little bit more emotional, but in a good way. California's median home price is well over twice what it is here in DFW. So that home equity that felt stuck in California, it can go a remarkably long way here in the DFW area. So let me make that real for you. Say you're a family selling a small, older, lot line to lot line home in California Metro, and after everything, you walk away with a healthy chunk of equity. That same budget here can move you into a newer, larger home, often with a real yard, a 2-car garage or 3, maybe a game room. All of that, plus being located in a community with a pool and a park right down the street from your house. In a lot of the growth areas that California families compare, you'll see more newer construction than you're probably used to. So you're often getting more square footage and more recent everything. For a lot of families, that's the moment the whole move starts to feel worth it because you're not really just buying a house here. You're buying a lifestyle. You get the yard, the schools, and your weekends spent at that neighborhood pool. That's the part that actually changes your family's day to day. Here's what a lot of families miss though. Bigger and newer comes with its own trade-offs. New build communities sometimes sit in what's called a mud or a PID. That's an extra district that helped pay for building that neighborhood, and it shows up on your tax bill. It is not a scam. It is a completely normal thing here, but it is one more thing to ask about before you sign on the dotted line. And a bigger house means bigger utility bills, especially cooling it through a Texas summer. Just wait for that, which we are going to get to in a minute here. Now for the schools. For most of the families coming to me from California, this is genuinely one of the biggest decisions. Everything else is negotiable, but the schools are not. And this is also where I see California families make their biggest wrong assumption. So stay with me here for just a second. The good news is DFW has a lot of strong, well-regarded school districts, and a lot of families move here specifically for them. But here's where I have to be a little bit more careful. And honestly, where you should be careful too. As a realtor, my job is not to steer you toward or away from any particular area based on who lives there or some ranking that I made up in my head. That's not just good manners, it's the law, and it's there to protect you. So here's what I tell every single family, including my own friends. Go look at the actual data for yourself. Pull up greatschools.org and niche.com. Look at the specific schools your kids would actually attend, not just the district name. And go through the comments. Read how families describe the overall fit. And don't just chase the highest number on a ranking site. The best school is the one that fits your specific kid, their needs, and their personality. A ranking can't see your child, but you can. And here's the assumption that I mentioned. The district name alone is not enough. Look at the specific elementary, middle, and high schools in that district. That also is going to be where your address is going to feed into because those can vary a lot inside one particular district. And one California-specific heads up, enrollment and how districts draw their attendance boundaries work differently here than what you are probably used to. The school you're zoned for is tied to the exact address. So confirm that boundary before you sign anything. I have talked with plenty of families who have fallen in love with house only to find out it wasn't the school that they thought they were getting into. So let's try and not do that. And if you get stuck while you are researching, there's an Ask Kristen chat right on my website that can answer DFW relocation questions and point you to the right page at any time in your home search. Okay, now let's get painfully honest because I am not here to sell you just a picture-perfect postcard. The summers, they are very hot, like triple digits for weeks on the heat index. The steering wheel will burn your hands hot. If your kids live for the beach and 72 and sunny, that is a thing that you're going to probably be grieving just a little bit when you make that move here. Granted, the flip side is mild winters and a tinier heating bill, but the trade-off is real. Second, DFW is big and it is spread out and you will have to drive. There's no ocean, there's no mountains, and the public transit is not what a lot of California transplants might be used to. So your commute and where your spouse works actually matters a lot here because the metro is enormous. Third, that property tax bill that we talked about, even when the total math wins, that first statement can be a bit of a gut punch if you didn't plan for it. And the culture is just different. It's friendly, it's family-centered, there's a lot of space, but it is a shift and it takes a season to make it feel a little bit more like home. One honest thing on that, making friends as a family takes some effort anywhere that you go. But the nice part here is a lot of these communities are built around it. The pool, the youth sports, and the school events. You'll find your people, it just takes maybe a season to get your bearings. So who is DFW honestly not for? If you need the ocean, the mountains, true four-season weather, or a no-car lifestyle, this might not be your spot. And that's going to be okay. I was just talking with a family considering making a move here, and after visiting and going back and forth for a few weeks, ultimately, they decided to stay put for just a little bit longer and see how it works out for them. Doesn't mean it might not change again down the road, but for them, they decided they just weren't ready yet. So I would so much rather tell you about everything now rather than after you've moved your entire family here to the Dallas area. Now, the question I get the second a family decides to come, okay, Kristen, but where do we actually live? I'm not going to rank them for you. That's a whole other set of videos, but let me give you the lay of the land. Families who want a corporate hub with walkable dining and newer everything often might compare Frisco and Plano or even up into Prosper. Families who want established, settled in, a little more lake and trees tend to look over towards Flower Mound or Capel. Allen does come up a lot too for families who want an established Collin County suburb with strong schools and easy access over to the Plano and Frisco areas. If you're coming with a bigger budget and you want that higher end, more polished, established feel, South Lake and Colleyville come up a lot as well. And if you want the most space and the newest construction for your money, the growth out towards McKinney or more north towards Prosper and Argyle out on the northwest side will be worth a look. Now, those are just a few examples. That's a pretty short list, actually, and I go deep on the full lineup in a separate comparison. Every one of them is a different lifestyle, not a better or worse. And which one fits depends on your commute and your budget, your kids' ages, and what you want your weekends to feel like. And I keep a full page on each of these suburbs over on my website that you should go check it out. So you can dig into any that might catch your eye. Now, one practical tip before I let you go house hunting, if you possibly can, come to a scouting trip first. Spend a few days, drive the areas, sit in the actual commute at actual rush hour if you really want, and even walk into a couple of the schools. And before you ever write an offer, verify 4 things at the exact address: the tax rate, the school boundary, whether there's an HOA, a MUD, or a PID, and call around and get real insurance quotes if you need them. Those 4 are where the monthly surprises hide. If you're not 100% sure on an area, there is zero shame in renting for a year before you buy. I've had multiple clients do that. I would so much rather you rent and get it right than buy and wish that you had waited because you thought you moved to the wrong area. So here's the one decision I want you to walk away able to make. Is Dallas-Fort Worth the right move for your family? And you should now have a real sense of the money, the house, the schools, and the trade-offs that answer that. If you're feeling a little bit stressed about it, that is totally normal. You're not broken. This is a very big move. The good news is you don't have to guess. So here's how I can actually help from here. And it just depends on where you are. If you're still in the research mode, grab my free DFW Family Relocation Guide. It lays the whole move out in one place, and the link's in the description down below. And if you're past research and you want my eyes on your actual move, head to the Get Started page over on my website. Tell me about your family and your timeline, and I will personally help you build your DFW shortlist. Or you can always just give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. It is going to be me that you will get on the other side of the phone. And if you just want to keep digging for now, I'll put my best DFW suburbs for families video right here that you can watch next. And until next time, as always, take care.